I've been practicing polarity for almost, like, let's just say, I don't know, between 28, 30 years. I started when I was very young. And kind of like it just launched my life from there. Basically, it became a very integral part of my life and changed a lot of the ways I did stuff. Whereas in the other natural practices that we do, like breath work and yoga or meditation or any other type of ritual work, you tend to see that there's so many things and the universe is so vast that you can actually go ahead and like there isn't, it's endless, right? Everybody knows that, understands that it's just endless, and sometimes we feel overwhelmed because there's just too much information and we just don't know how to funnel that information into a nice, easy, regular practice or whatnot. My passion fell into polarity, okay? And I was, I guess, blessed to have found Adria Act at the time, who was, you know, uh, where I was like having private courses. And from there, we just kind of like private because I say we were two. And basically, from there, I just launched and met up with other type of polarity practitioners and did refresher courses and stuff like this and got to see different lineages. And there's a lot of building blocks to it. What I've done for the program, if anyone's interested, is I've put together uh, a lot of the knowledge from all these lineages that I've learned from. So we have different approaches to polarity therapy. And that's what I'm going to try to explain here in a very short intro into what is polarity therapy. Basically, polarity therapy, if we ask somebody who is a practitioner, and there may be a practitioner here listening in, sometimes it's very difficult to actually give a very good, easy description of what polarity therapy is. So I've just come to build this definition myself. It is a holistic system where we work the four levels of being, which is mind, body, emotions, and spirit, and having its roots in Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, and Hermetic science. So from there, we understand that we work with different energies. We're an energy worker and a body worker. Okay, there are different approaches. So sometimes it may look a little bit like massage, whereas at other times it'll look more like Reiki. So you have like these different, a lot of different protocols, a lot of different manipulations that you can work with that, and a lot of different choices, which is so awesome because you could be very creative in the work you do, um, so that you're actually building something. You can work at it in its own therapy and as an own modality, or you can add on. Like a lot of practitioners today who know a little bit about polarity, they'll be doing massage and then they'll do polarity at the same time, and those receiving that massage won't even notice. Okay, so there's different ways to approach polarity. So here I wrote that, okay, we're working with protocols, manipulations, energy currents, patterns, connections, triads, the five elements, chakras, and energy pathways of the biofield. So we're talking about um, the ultrasonic core, which I'll show later on. Here, polarity therapy involves a philosophy because it's around energy and the energy bodies and how they influence each other all the way to the physical body, touch, energy flow, nutrition, yoga, massage, reflexology, the chakra system, meditation, breath work, self-healing, and we can go on. So basically, these are the things that polarity helps us to, these are the building blocks of polarity, and this is how we work with it, what we have. We cannot talk about polarity without talking about the founder. The founder is Dr. Randolph Stone. He developed polarity because he was an osteopath, chiropath based in the United States. And basically, he came to an understanding that every time people would come into his clinic, they were still hurt. They would come back and he would have to readjust them. And at this point, he just said, this doesn't work anymore. He's tired of these results. So basically, he went on his life quest and went to Egypt, where he learned about the ultrasonic core. And then from there, he went to China, did Chinese medicine. And then from there, he did not finish his acupuncture practice because he felt he could do more with his fingers. And then he went to India. And then from there, he learned about Ayurveda, and he spent time with a bunch of different yogis in different temples in meditation. And through these meditations, he came to like revelations, realizations. He connected the dots of many of these systems and created his own. So when we work with polarity therapy, you'll notice that it could look like something and it could look like something completely different as well. So you have like so many different alternatives. In polarity therapy, we work with 3 types of touch. Okay, so basically you can compare this to other systems, massage as well. Uh, in certain polarity therapy lineages, they'll only work with the sattvic touch, which is a neutral touch, which is a very light touch. And then there's the rajasic touch and the tamasic. So there's like a stimulating touch and a very deep touch. Okay, so we can call that like deep tissue massage if you like, but we're not really doing that. Okay, so these are the things that this is a type of touch and approach to the client when we're working with the body. But as we work with the body, we're working with the energy fields at the same time. Okay. This is a representation of the ultrasonic core and basically all the energy centers that are the different patterns for the elements. So if we're talking about ether, air, fire, water, and earth, here you can see all of these patterns and how the human being is as we walk around. We're not including here the aura, okay? This is the 5 elements in their energetic pattern. So the electromagnetic field that surrounds us, basically. And here we can break this down. So I just broke this down in a representation of the different fields. So here, this is a representation of the air element. Over here, it would be the fire element, which is the vital energy of our lives coming from the navel. Then here would be the water element. This is another representation of the air element. Here is the earth element, which zigzags through the back. This here is a water element. And here is the caducean line, which we all know as the chakra line, okay, with Ina and Pinana. So basically, these are the different energy bodies that surround our body. Here we have another concept, it's called the oval fields. And from us in the polarity process, we believe that from universe comes to the oval field, from the oval field comes to the chakra system, from the chakra system now comes the 5 elements, and then from the 5 elements comes the nervous system, and then from the nervous system comes the physical body. So in our creation, this is how we see the polarity process. And we work with all of these fields and these diaphragms of the body. Each center here has a diaphragm splitting the center, and where emotions and physical problems and all these things can be stuck. Basically, kind of like what Tony was saying when the body has a memory, it keeps emotions stuck in the body. Well, there are places where these memories can be even more stuck than others, and we work with these elements and these energy patterns to release those stuck crystallized energy or stuck emotions, and we work on releasing them. But the key here is we don't focus on trying to unstick anything. The body knows what it needs to do, and it will do it on its own. It will do it when it's ready. That's what's important to keep in mind. In polarity therapy, there's no forcing of making anything happen. The body knows when it's time to release and what is needed to release. And then we can bring in all our other practices that we've learned, meaning be it intuition, be it breath work, be it meditation, be it being it sensing and feeling energy. And we can bring this into our practice to get more enlightened on where we're going to be going and what type of protocol or what type of manipulation are we going to do next. Yeah, so something like this. It's very intuitive, but at the same time there is a structure and it's very clinical. So we have different approaches in polarity therapy. Some people will use the elements, okay, like myself. That's my go-to usually. There's other ways to practice on it, as in the body and the nervous system. Then there's the sensory body, the motor body. Then there's also the astrology that we can use to figure out what type of session do we want to actually apply. Okay, so we call it like having a lot of pair of lenses. We have many pairs of lenses, okay, glasses that you can wear into figuring out um, how do you want to approach the client, and what type of session are you going to deliver. At times I would use even muscle testing just to figure out what element does the body want most, and I'll go with this. There's different approaches to how we can basically choose. Also, just to give you a little idea, a protocol can last 1 hour. Let's say it's an hour 15 when we're doing our session, but no protocol has to be in its entirety, meaning like you don't have to do a 1 hour session every time. You can break up that protocol and take just elements of it and pick and choose different things that is needed for the session, and pick another element and do the same thing. You can and some protocols are very small and some are very large. It all depends on how much time do you want to spend doing your connection, and or how much the body needs, because the body does talk. And I mean, every person will feel it differently. Just to give you an idea, myself, I'll feel it in the breath. My breath will start, like if I start having I'm yawning, or it's stagnant, or, short breaths or stuff, I know there's things going on with the person, okay, with the client. But if my breath is clear and I feel like I'm in a forest, and then I know like okay, I'm finished with this spot. Now I'm going to move on to the next. Whereas other people, they may feel it in their hands most, they might feel it in their whole body, they might feel it in heat, they might feel it in electricity. We all have a gift, we all have an approach, and we're all capable of sensing each other and being able to work with that when you're looking to help somebody or yourself. So here, I just wanted to represent the magnetic, the polarities of the body. A little bit like, I don't know if everybody's been here since 9 this morning, but we were taught this morning that, how we work with the right side and the left side of the body. The knees mean something, the feet mean something. In polarity, we have the same thing. Every body part means something. The right side means something, the left side means something. The way the body is polarized, the upper body is like the positive, the midsection is the neutral, and the bottom of the lower part of the body is a negative. But at the same time, we can also see here in these colors that everything that matches, like the pink is all positive, the yellow is all neutral, and the green is all negative. And we can work with this while we're on the client, or we can use this as a protocol in itself. This is a actual polarity protocol on how to work with pain and trapped emotions. Okay, so I just wanted to show this part here. Also with the fingers and toes, each finger has a polarity. Okay, so as you can see them here, the thumbs and the big toe, they're neutral, and then the rest of the fingers are either negative or positive. And in our contacts, we can use these different polarities in our fingers, depending on how we want to stimulate the energy and create that pattern. Or we can just use a basic neutral touch at all times, which is like the simplest way to do this, the simplest approach. And the neutral touch would be like putting your two fingers together, using a thumb, using your fingers together, or using your whole palm. Okay, that's a neutral touch. And we can just touch certain areas of the body and stimulate those areas by and balancing out the body, or activating the energy and the element by those touches. Okay, here is an example of the food guide that we use in polarity therapy. This is basically what we would use when we're consulting with somebody, and it's often used as homework, basically, where we can, or when we're diagnosing somebody, when we notice somebody's always eating a certain type of food, and then we can see that the way they respond to us, the way they talk to us, their posture, and all these things are looked at in polarity therapy. We can determine if there's a certain element that's out of balance, and then what type of work are we going to do? Are we going to work on that to rebalance that element, or are we going to work on another element to try to balance out that element? Different approach, different ways of doing things. It all depends. We know when to use and pick and choose which one. So here we have a good example of the type of foods that, just say somebody has too much fire, and they're breaking out with inflammation everywhere. They have, a lot of ites in the body, like arthritis or tendonitis, bursitis, all these things, or, like those little things popping out of the eyes, or, anything that's happening to the body that seems like there's too much fire, or indigestion, or problems with digestion. Then we would actually tell them, to actually start eating some water foods, and to avoid the fire foods for that time being. Okay. So this is like just through consultation, homework, something that someone would have to do at home to better their lives, to find balance, and to help also the healing process, since we're going to be working with all kinds of different elements and energetic work. So it's like anything else. If we when a person wants to make that step, there's two ways to go about doing that step. There's the slow way and the fast way. And basically somebody who's really like wants to take charge and wants to get something done, and wants a change in their lives, they will follow along with the homework and the energetic exercises and the food and the meditations and the breath work, so that when they do receive a polarity session, it will just simply it will help manifest things a lot faster. Okay, here's another example of what polarity yoga is. We call it polarity yoga. It's not necessarily yoga. It's basically energetic exercises that will help for different things. It depends on where the problem is, what is the element we're working, where is the need. Like before, I saw in the chat somebody said they were working with their heart. Well, this here would be the element that they would want to work on would be air, and basically the exercise here is to open the heart, bring back the shoulders, and to help your breath and to help your diaphragm. And of course, you can do this with or without a ha. And so this is something we would demonstrate, and we would learn, and basically we could pass on this as a self-healing technique. Here too is another popular polarity energetic exercise called the wood chopper. Helps balance the fire element and also activate the fire element, and you'd get hot very quickly. So this is something we would do again as a homework. And here, water, a water exercise and an earth exercise for centering, grounding, and releasing pain and sensing in the body. There's something that we tend to not do that we should be doing more often, is actually doing internal sensing, whereas we would sit, we'd breathe and find any technique you want. You can do this with any technique during your yoga practice, during your meditation, or any type of, and just feeling every part of your body and just breathing into those parts. And so the squat would be a good example of when we would do such a thing. Okay, and we'd also get to know where our tensions are, where our pains are in the body, as much as where we're not flexible, where our body tends to resist. And at the same time, we can hold this posture for a little while and see where the releases happen and how fast these releases happen. Okay. From this I would say is Dr. Stone, when he brought this, basically it has to do with, because in polarity we deal with a little bit of astrology, the 5 elements, and the parts of the body. So as I said before, the parts of the body, there's a lot of correlations in different pieces, just like in other modalities. We have a very popular one called the triads. And so with the triads, you can see here in this picture, the triangles. This would represent a triad. And you could see which element. So here it's air, and what astrological sign. Uh, Now, when we look at a client and we think about the astrological sign, it's not just the sun sign. It could be the sun sign, the ascendant, and the moon sign. And we can dig a bit deeper with that. But usually the sun sign alone will give us a lot of hints as to where a person finds their weaknesses in life. There is a philosophy in polarity therapy where, just say you have, I don't know, just say you're an Aquarius, and you you know we know that it's the ankles where you have uh, which is your body part. Well, this is a place where you would probably try to protect the most, and at the same time it is a place where you may find problems in your life the most. And it's a key for us to work with when we work with somebody. um, but I think the most important here is to figure out is the correspondence between these points. So what I would invite you to do, okay, is everybody who has a pain in the body, or and if you don't have a pain, Basically, you can choose a body part you want to work with, and we're gonna work the triad together. Okay. So here's the example of a triad. Okay, this is broken down from here. It's a very simple protocol. So we can see that each element has a body part, 3 body parts, and I'll just explain how this works. It's basically, we have, just say the air sign up here. We have the shoulder, the kidneys, and the ankle. Okay. And basically, the way we do it is we would put one of our hands on the shoulder. Uh, keep it to each side. Okay, so if it's right side, it's right side, left side, it's left side. So we'd put one hand on the left shoulder, let's just say, and then we would take our other hand and put it behind on the kidney, and we would just hold that. And we would hold that for 30 seconds to 2 minutes. And if we feel we need more, we can hold it for 3, to the point where you feel that energetically you're feeling something happening, or you feel that you're just relaxing or resting in that place. Then we would move from our kidney, we would take our other hand and touch our ankle. So we'd cross our leg or something, touch our ankle. And then from this point, we'd hold it also 30 seconds to 2 minutes. And then from that point, we would go from touching our ankle to our shoulder again. So we could switch arms, hold our ankle, hold our shoulder, and again, 30 seconds to 2 minutes. This would be completing a triad. Okay, and then we could do that on the other side too. And, you know, what you do to the right, you do to the left. So basically, we would do that. And I invite you to pick a part of your body. And before going into doing a triad, I'd say that we could just do a little breathing first and prepare our hands, and we'll just follow with a triad of your choice. And we'll just follow through 30 seconds on each point, delivering the one you feel you need most. So again, we can see where the dots are. On the head, you would just take half your head like this, or on your eye like this. And then the bowel, you would just hold your stomach area. And then your knees, you just hold your knee from the top part or the bottom, it doesn't matter. In the water, it's the chest. And then after, you would just hold your base, your hip. And then from your hip, your foot. That would be this, the bassin, the basin. And I think we covered them. Okay, so let's just breathe a bit here, and we'll go on to the energy ball. So everybody just close your eyes, relax. Deep breath. Focus light as you bring that breath into your stomach. Breathe in. Hold. And breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe in light. Hold. And breathe out. Out. In. Out. I want you to think of your whole body as you take awareness as your whole body is breathing through every tissue, and breathe out. Feel your chest expanding. As you feel your air has been cleared, your mind is filled, you just feel light. You can come out of this. Now I invite everybody to rub your hands together. Just breathe. And with your hands, I want you to open and close your hands as we're doing an exercise to open up the chakras of the hands so you can better feel and sense the energy. Do this just like 10 times, 12 times. Okay. And then from here, take your thumb, press the middle of your palm and turn clockwise. Same with your other hand. And then just tap the fingertips. Okay. Yeah, some people can actually pinch your fingertips if that makes you feel better. You can sometimes feel tension in there. Okay. So now your hands are ready. From this point on, you're just going to expand your hands and bring it closer. Okay. Now, don't forget to breathe. So just practice creating that ball and breathing, and feel that ball as it gets thicker through your hands. Feel your hands. Now you can turn them one way. Basically, you can try to feel that ball and turn that ball around. If you don't feel anything, don't worry about it. It just takes a little bit of practice and consciousness of what's happening with your hands. You may feel things in your hands like little electric pinches, or you might feel heat coming out of your hands. Remember the breath. Okay. And then from there, you can just feel and hold that ball. Sometimes you'll lose it and just come back, expand and come back, and then you'll feel that little spring. It's fine. Okay. Now that we've practiced that, that's just an exercise to feel energy, and you can even use this as a meditation to create more sensitivity. When we hold a person's tissues, there's a lot of feedback that we receive. The body is talking, right? And basically, when we are holding the body, we can feel these in many different ways. We can get images, we can get smells, feelings, thoughts, we can hear things, we can, and then we can feel everything you can imagine through your hands. You can feel depressions, you can feel fullness, you can feel um, electrical currents, um, all kinds of things that are happening in the body. And basically, all you need to do is find a position of neutrality. You can, through your practice, all the different practices are out there. You can go ahead and bring love and send that love, or just imagine white light or pink, unconditional love as you're going there and you're making those contacts. You can do that. And I speak neutrality because neutrality is like a stillness that where the healing process begins, through that stillness, like in breath. It's where we stop the breath, where we have a silence and the body is able to reflect and release. So as we have contact with ourselves or that person or the person or even your pet, if you want to practice on your pet, um, this is what we're doing. Okay. Basically, we just want to hold ourselves in a neutral position, keep the breath going, and just have no preconceived ideas, really. Um, the only thing we want to put in our minds before going into the practice is basically, what are we going to work? And once we've selected what we will work, then from there, it's just trust in energy. Energy knows what's to do. Energy has its own intelligence. You don't need to uh, take control. Energy will do the work. And through the contact points that you learn, you can just see things happening, and you'll get a lot of feedback, a lot of amazing feedback. Okay. So now that we're in a state of energy, I think we've done a lot of practices throughout the day. We can now select the place we want to hold, and just whatever place you feel. If it's a pain, you can choose that place out of one of the elements, and then choose the second place as we go along. So I know it's kind of hard to control now because I don't want to pick for you. I don't want to say, let's do water and then I'll guide you through that. I want you to pick the one that you feel best, or you feel you have a need for at the moment. Or again, if you have a pet or someone with you, you can do it on them. Okay. So pick that place, that whatever part. And the way I usually work the triad, although it does not matter, there is no order. You don't have to go chest, basin, foot. You can go foot to basin, and then from basin to chest, and then mix it as you wish. But it's a sequence of three. Okay, so it's a triad. So I invite you to pick one, and I'll just keep time, and we'll hold each point for, let's say, a minute. So now how you felt your bubble, I want you to just connect to your tissues. Okay, just to hold that place and see if you feel anything in your hand, or you get an impression, or you get a memory, or you get a thought, a smell, or anything that can happen as you have those two contact points together. Okay, so let's begin now. Pick a place, pick a spot. Myself, I'm gonna go with air. So just hold that spot. Just think of what your contact is about. You may have your mind wandering, it's fine. Just keep your hands in your mind though. Just know that there's a contact. And if you feel that you need to kind of shake the hand a bit, move it, kind of stimulate the area that you're touching, that's good. Just do that. And then you'll find stillness again. Now from there, you're going to move one of your hands to your other triad, to your other body part, and just hold that. The key here is to not try to feel something, but to just let it happen. If you feel pulsating, hold it for longer. And if your breath works and you start to deepen into your breath and your mind starts to go deeper, that's fine, that's good. Now switch your hand to the last place and to the first place. And we're going to finish the triad on one side. Now we can move to the other side. So hold your first part and your second part on the other side. And give yourself a minute of quiet and just feel. If you don't feel anything, don't worry about it. Energy knows what to do. Energy is moving, as is life. Now we can move one hand to another part. Remember breath. And now move your hands to first part, third part. And now when we feel we've done when we finished our triad, we can just disconnect. So the triad is a protocol that we would usually do at the end or at the beginning of a session, while we have other protocols that we've worked on. Okay, so we may have chosen to pick, I don't know, fire, and through doing the fire protocol, at the end of fire, I would bring balance to the body by doing a fire triad. Okay, this is an example. Um, of course, the triad in itself can really bring a lot of balance and soothing to the body. Um, but there are times we need more other types of protocols or shorter protocols or different techniques. Basically, you know, if you have a headache, this can bring balance to it, because like if you have a headache, we would fall into fire. So you never know, maybe your headache is being caused by your digestive system. So to bring balance from your digestive system to your head and to your thighs, you will relieve your headache and your digestive system and bring balance to your body. Okay, so that's an example. Um, and you can use this for any type of pain or tension that you might feel or that somebody may be feeling. Also, if we look at polarity, because we are working on the polarities of the body, here we can dive deeper into the polarity, as in our right hand is positive, our left side is like, right side is positive, left side is negative, right? So if my right hand or is on my right side, it would be positive. So now if I take my right hand and I make a contact on my left side, or the left side of the client, we are actually creating a polarity there. So then my left hand would go to their right side. Okay, this would be diving deeper into the theory of the polarities and having the soothing hand with the active hand. We do look into this. The front of the body, as we see it here, we see positive here, right? Okay, on this picture, we see positive here and negative here, but this is what's happening in the front of the body. On the back of the body, it's actually the opposite, because our energy is moving in a circle. Okay, so the fact that it's circling around us, we're giving with our right hand, but when it reaches our heel, it comes back up the body, okay, on the right side, so it becomes now negative. So there is also, while the person, we're giving a therapy to the person and they're laying down, we are actually positioning ourselves um, to do that. So we kind of become like a radio wave. Okay, there are different levels when we can make our contacts with polarity. I don't know if any of you have felt anything in your hands as you were doing this to yourself or to a partner, but you'll notice that even just the contact itself makes things happen. But if you kind of shift your hands a little, shift your fingers a little, you'll sense something, and it'll actually make a stronger contact. And then from there, if you switch and move your body, you know, kind of like move and turn your body as you go, you're kind of like a dial of a radio dialing into the frequency of that magnetic field that's happening onto your client. So you can really dive deeper into sensing the energy and making it and to balance it out, or activating the energy as you want. Um, so I think that would be what I wanted to show you or talk about. I don't know if anybody has any questions. Uh, I'm free to speak any answers, but I think that would be it.